Welcome back to another devlog on Cave Story Before the Storm. Let's get into what's been happening. First of all, for development, I'm stuck on Godot 4 Beta 13. As of this devlog's release, Godot 4 Beta 16 has been released. However, Godot 4 Beta 14 has bugs with animation, and later betas caused the project to not run. This could be because of a change to how core systems work, but because the docs are not complete and it doesn't seem like a deprecated method, this is as far as I can go for now. This may be fixed in the upcoming release candidate or in the stable 4.0 release, which is set for this year, but I'm thinking that this may not be fixed and I'll have to wait till docs are out and fix the issue, or I'll stick with Godot 4 Beta 13 for the rest of development. The first thing I did was add music to the levels to make it not so empty. I also tweaked the physics later to be faster. Then I worked on the interact mechanic. Basically, if Curly is not looking at anything, then a question mark will appear above Curly's head, but if Curly interacts with an area 2D in a list of specific groups, then an interaction will happen. So I tried to code it by following a bullet tutorial because the concept was pretty much the same and it didn't work. I didn't really understand why, so I passed it on to Sleeping Raven and they fixed the issue and it was finally working in game. Next, I worked on a level transition. It took me a little bit of time to get right, but basically it's just a big sprite that moves on the HUD, which is just a canvas layer. Then I started working on a second route. This is what I meant in the last devlog, that I'm going to take a custom direction with the game, as this was not featured in the original beta. This route is going to be in the final game, I think, and it just serves as a pathway for later in development. One thing I worried about in development was how slopes are going to be handled, but luckily I didn't have to do anything and it just worked, so that's nice. Then the camera system. I was a little worried about making this, but in the end I went for a lazier approach. The concept is basically the camera offsets depending on the direction and velocity that you face, and defaults back to no offset when Curry's position is within a certain distance of the camera limit. It kind of worked, but in the end I decided to smooth the camera limit and camera, and I think it works out good and shouldn't be too bad for the game. I may revisit this idea, but I still think I'll stick with being lazy. Because of how the smooth camera limit works, it ends up going outside of the camera limit when it's enabled, so to fix it, I added a screen fade effect. You can still move during this time once the first transition is finished, but I think it's fine because it doesn't make sense to force the player to pause at a moment like that. After that, I added text indicating what area you're in and sound effects for when you hit the ground, hit the ceiling, and jump. No walking sound effects because I'm too bad at programming to figure out how to probably program them in. And that's it. I figured since everything is coming together, I could show how the gameplay looks currently. So this is the end of the devlog, and I think it went pretty well, even though it is smaller, but regardless, this is some good progress. Enjoy the gameplay.